So high again. We're going to get ourselves near a wall, have a chair nearby if you want to, just to move into the next few exercises. So it'll be really nice to just do a few different exercises using the wall for support. So we're going to start by having a few nice big stretches to start with. So I'm just going to move that chair over there a little bit. And I'm going to take my legs nice and wide, maybe a little bit wider than hip distance apart. And I just want to take my hands on my hips, have a look down at my feet. Maybe I take them a bit wider. And then I'm going to take the toes a little bit together, so I'm a bit pigeon-toed, so my heels are out and my toes are in. And sometimes this can really help you to open up your lower back. The lower back's a bit tight. If it's too much on the knees, take the toes out a little bit more. So we're going to take a nice big stretch here. So let's release the hands next to us. Lengthen through the spine. Inhale, take the arms nice and wide all the way overhead. So again, we're going to hold on to the left wrist with the right hand. And we're going to lift up on a breath in. And as we exhale, we're going over to the right side. And I'm pushing my hips over to the left side. And I want you to stretch here. So as we did sat down, we're going to just start to round to the back. So we're pushing into the back of the shoulder blade. So you're kind of starting to look down towards the ground. Just a bit of a twist here. Bend the knees if you have to. And then release the hand. So come back to center. Just give the shoulders a bit of a roll. Give the hands a bit of a wiggle. And we'll send that the other way. So we're going to inhale the arms all the way overhead. Taking the right wrist with the left hand. I'm inhaling up. And I'm exhale, taking that stretch over to the other side. So taking the stretch face on first of all, send the hips over to the right side, and then starting to push into my right shoulder blade as I start to look down towards the floor. Take a couple of breaths here. And then exhale, I'm releasing all the way down. Take the hands on the hips, feet just a little bit wider than hip distance like they were, but toes this time are coming outwards. So if you looked at them and they were a clock, they'd be attended to. And we're just going to bend the hips, just have a little bit of sway around into those hips. So just taking rotations with your bottom this time in one direction. And then in the other direction. And just be aware of how that feels. I'm going to change it up a bit. So we're going to come to stillness and just taking the hands this time against the wall. Same motion, so feet at 10 to 2. Use the wall as support and you might find that you can move a little bit deeper into those hip rotations. In one direction and then in the other direction. So you've got a little bit of support by using the wall. So we're going to take the legs together now, and I want you to bring your back right against the wall if you can. So we're going to work into our shoulders. So we're going to bring the arms up to shoulder height, and then if you can you see if you can bring them behind your head? So you're kind of holding your skull with your interlaced hands. And then you're right against the wall here, and I want you to see now if you can push your elbows and your shoulder blades into the wall. Take a deep breath in. And then exhale, let them release to where they come to. Don't bring them together, just let them release naturally. We'll do 5 of those. Inhale, exhale, 2, inhale, exhale, for 3, for 4, and for 5. So we're going to push them against the wall now for 5 seconds if we can. So take those elbows to the wall, push the shoulder blades in the wall. Keep the chin parallel with the floor for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Lovely. Take the arms wide again and next to you. I'm going to do some pelvic tilts now. So this is nice for the lower back. So if you can, bend the knees a little bit. You've got that wall of support, hands on the wall. Now I want you to just be aware of what's happening with your back now. So your neck's nice and long, the chin's parallel with the floor, and you might feel a bit of a gap between the lower back and the wall, and that's where the bottom kind of sticks out a bit. So our pelvic tilts And when we push that lower back into the wall, so it's almost like we're trying to create no space at all between our back and the wall, lower back and the wall. And then we release. So let's do 5 of those. As we inhale, we push the lower back into the wall. It's almost like we're sending those hips forward. Exhale, release. Back into the wall on an inhalation. Exhale, release. For 4. Exhale, release. And for 5, inhale. Exhale, release. Lovely. So just standing up a minute, just have a little bit of a shift from foot to foot. Maybe a little bit of a sway in the hips. And we're going to come into a chair pose against the wall now. So we're going to bend the knees, take the heels a little bit further away from the wall, and just allow yourself to come to balance against the wall. So the head won't be balanced against the wall, it'll be directly above the spine, but the whole of the upper back will be nicely connected. We're taking the arms in front of us, we're going to take some breaths. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, take the arms down. 4 more of these if you can. If it's only 2 that you can take, that's fine. If it's 3, it's fine. We're inhaling them up, exhaling them down. Take it nice and steady, really take all of the breath in that you can, that feels comfortable. And the last one. And exhale all the way down. Lovely. So use that wall just to come up again. Give the shoulders a bit of a roll. Let's take ourselves into a forward fold. So against the wall, we can do it a little bit like we do on the chair. Hands come about shoulder distance apart, feet about hip distance apart. And I'm starting to take my bottom backwards as I walk down the wall. I can bend the knees if I want to. It's lengthen the spine that we want here. So lengthen yourself forwards. Maybe look down to the floor. Take 5 deep breaths in and out here. Long deep breaths in and out, as long as it feels good for you. And then when you're ready, just starting to walk those feet back towards the wall. And let's take a nice stretch into the feet. So hands up at shoulder height. I'm going to take my left leg back to start with and push into the left foot. And I'm standing up nice and straight here. And I'm going to just bend that right knee. And that right knee is going over the ankle. And then I'm going to take my left hand on my hip and take a little twist. So it's a little bit easier because I've got that support of the wall. Inhale, take the arm overhead. Reach into the fingertips. And then take that hand forwards. You're looking forwards. You're pushing into the back foot. And then when you're ready, you can step forwards and we'll take that to the other side. So stand up nice and straight. Taking the right leg back, bend the left leg, looking forwards. So I'm only looking at you because I need to look at the camera. And you can look forward. Taking that right arm to the side, have a nice stretch so you can see it from behind now. And then bring that arm back to the wall. Just a couple of breaths here, let those shoulders relax. Keep both feet connected with the ground. Nice stretch into the back leg. And then when you're ready, stepping forwards. So we're against the wall now. Bodies against the wall. Hands come about where the shoulders are. And what I want us to do is I want us to come onto tiptoes if we can. Center the shoulder blades together, almost like we're snaking up the wall. We're going to release those heels. We're going to do that 3 more times with the breath. So inhale, I'm pushing my chest towards the wall, shoulder blades together, look up. Exhale, release. If looking up makes the balance be lost, just look forwards. 2, shoulder blades together is good though. Inhaling up. Exhaling, release. And then the last one. And release. And as we release, we're coming into downward dog on the wall. So keep those hands under the shoulders, a little bit like the forward fold, but we're not going down quite so low. Send your bottom backwards. 3 breaths here. Try to keep the whole of the feet connected with the ground. And then walking forwards towards the wall again. Take a moment now, because you've been upside down, so we just take a moment to find the balance. And then we're going to just take ourselves into a little bit of a balance. So both feet are connected. Let's lift. Let's take the feet first of all to hip distance apart. Let's lift the feet, the toes, so they're nice and spread them wide. So left hand is on the left hip. And we're starting to take the weight onto the right foot and bring the knee forward if we can. It might only be a ½ inch off the floor, the toe might be on the floor, it doesn't matter. Think about lifting and lengthening through your spine. Keep that right foot nice and connected. And if we can, we're going to take that foot behind us now. And as you take it behind you, try to bring the heel towards your bottom. Lengthen through your spine, lots of length in the spine. Bringing your knee forwards again. We're going to take it out to the side if we can. And then releasing the toe to the floor. So we're in our tree now against the wall. You can take the left hand to the left to the heart center. You can take right hand if the balance is there, otherwise keep the wall. And release your hand. So we're going to take that to the other side. I'm going to use the chair on the other side. So let's again find that nice strong foundation. Feet connected with the ground. I've got a nice long spine, lifting my toes, replanting them. I'm going to take my chair this time, right hand onto my right hip. Start to transfer the weight onto my left leg. Bring the knee in front of me. It can be further down, doesn't have to be up to hip height. Try and keep lifting from your core, lifting all the way up. And then taking the knee together, take the heel towards your bottom. Bring the knee back in front of you, taking it over to the side, so we're opening the hip a little bit, and release the toe to the floor. If the right hand comes to the heart center, make sure you keep that lift in your spine, make sure you keep the connection with the floor. Maybe the left hand does as well. Hold it here nice and quietly for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and release the foot. So release the hands, give yourself a little bit of a shake. Shake all of the energy out that you don't need. Give yourself a shake, get rid of it. Give the head maybe a little bit of a whirl around. Give everything a shake. And let's take ourselves back onto our seat just to close our practice today. So we're going to take one last big stretch. So let's inhale the arms overhead. Reach into those fingertips. Point the toes in front of you. Reach up, lift up. And with an exhalation, let everything release. And you can let the back fall against the back of the chair. And you can close the eyes. And just take 3 of those deep breaths in through your nose and out through the mouth. And it can be a big long sigh, it can be a long and controlled sigh, or it can be a quick, whatever feels best for you. And then try to bring the chin so it's parallel with the floor, so it's not kind of jutting forwards. Let your shoulders relax. And just let gravity, let the body surrender into the floor, the chair. And just let yourself be fully connected with all of those sensations in your body. If you're feeling any tension anywhere, maybe make a mindful movement in that place. I often feel tension in my hips. And just when I bring my awareness to the fact that my glute muscles, my bottom muscles are gripping hold of my big femur bone in my upper thigh, I can just kind of let it release by bringing the awareness there. So anywhere you find tension, bring your awareness there. Let it release. Maybe move into it. Maybe breathe into it. Take the attention to the very center of your torso, just where the ribs are parted. Just focus on expanding that area as you inhale, and the expansion moves all the way up into the chest, maybe down into the belly. And as you exhale, the awareness comes back to that central area. And with the awareness on that central area, just starting to allow your focus to move out to the periphery of your body. So the focus is coming out, the energy is moving out from the center of the body right to the outside of the body. And when the focus arrives on the whole of the periphery of the body, you can start to let your mind not move away from the present moment, but be aware of what's happening around you in the present moment. So any sounds, birds singing maybe, or lawnmowers I've got, or dogs. Any sensations on the skin. Just take a moment to be still with that moment. Live in that moment. When you feel like you've connected with the moment, when you're connected with body and breath, then you can think about taking a little move in the fingers and in the toes. So let's take a nice big stretch in. Let's reach overhead. Take that lovely big, lovely stretch in, palms together. And then we're taking the hands to the heart center. So we might have created a nice lot of energy in our practice today. Giving the palms a good rub, maybe feel that energy. And then you can place that wherever you need it. You might want to put it on a chakra. You might want to put it somewhere physical, or if you need a little bit of help mentally today, just into the third eye or onto the crown of the head. Let your body absorb that beautiful energy. So you can just release the hands, release everything, give the shoulders a roll. And you can close your practice with a nice big stretch and a breath. Thank you very much, everyone. I'll try and get another one done as soon as I can. And as soon as I can get somewhere where the dogs don't follow me everywhere. I hope you're all well, and I really hope to see you all soon. Take care. Thanks.